The Philadelphia Soul took control early and never looked back. Led by veterans Dan Radaball and James Romain, the Soul scored a season-high 79 points in their 79-60 victory over the New Orleans VooDoo at the Wells Fargo Center on Saturday. Tonight we'll talk to assistant coach Rod Miller, defensive lineman Brian Robinson, and James Romain about the game, and we'll see what's on the mind of Vinny. We'll also hear from Angela Perfetto in a new segment we call Girl Chalk. And I'll have my own thoughts to share with you about Mother's Day. I'm Rhea Hughes. The Soul Insider, presented by Foods Galore, is next. The Soul used a dominant defense in the second half, had some shaky moments on special teams, but they were able to pull away from the New Orleans VooDoo. Check out the game highlights.
Scoring had been down this year for the Soul, had been down. This matchup with New Orleans begins on schedule with the teams trading touchdowns. Dan Radaball to a surgeon Vakean Lacey for the score.
Pump fake, Radaball deep, wide open, Lacey, and he's got it. Touchdown, Philadelphia, a 28-yard score.
But when Derek Ross rumbles in to give the Soul an 8-point lead, the game begins to change thanks to the ball hawks in the Soul secondary. James Romain forces a turnover on downs. He and Kaiser would each pick 2 off in this game. This leads to a 29-yard touchdown strike. Radaball to Ryan McDaniel, who had a huge first half to put the Soul out in front 28-13 and 31-20 at the break. Then a big break to start the second half to set the tone. Carlos Martinez with a booming kickoff that rebounds wildly, and Vakean Lacey will wind up on top of it for the touchdown.
Lacey, and a brutal start to the second half for the VooDoo.
The teams then swap 2 touchdowns each. This an aerial to fullback Derek Ross for the Soul.
Ross carrying tacklers, and he's in! Touchdown, Philadelphia!
But then it's the defense forcing another big switch. James Romain with a pick and the 6. 59-34, the Soul running away by 25.
Pick 6 for Philadelphia.
Now into the fourth quarter, the VooDoo force a turnover and score back-to-back touchdowns to cut into that lead. But veteran Tiger Jones now reasserts himself in the second half, this touchdown. And then it's Rayshon Kaiser keying the win from the defensive side again. 4 picks for the Soul secondary, 2 for touchdowns.
He's not down yet. Kaiser at the 10, comes back, and he takes it in!
Lacey would top the Soul's biggest point total of the season with another touchdown in the fourth quarter, as the Soul would chase away any bad spirits from the VooDoo and win 79-60. They're back to 500 at 4-4 and 4-1 in their last 5 games.
You might have noticed in that highlights package, there were a lot of plays by the defensive backs in the second half that helped the Soul go on to that big win over New Orleans. So we thought we'd bring in the defensive backs coach and special teams coach, Rod Miller. Rod, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, your D-backs, they had one heck of a second half, 4 interceptions, 2 returned for touchdowns. I'm assuming you said something that just inspired them at halftime.
You know, all I said was go out and make plays. You know, all we can do is talk to the guys, but they have to go out and make the plays. You know, the guys played hard. They prepared well all week. They kind of anticipated what was coming, and they went out, trusted their instincts, and made those type of plays that we needed to come away with those interceptions.
And I was reading something after the game where James Romain had said that they had such a great week in practice and that they were, picking off passes in practice, and that it just translated totally over to the game. Is that something you really preach in practice?
Yeah, we practice. We want to practice the way we're going to play in the game. You got to prepare, anticipate the routes, learn to read the receivers, and you do those things in practice, they carry over to the game. So we felt good going to this game that we were making the right decisions in our coverages, and the guys went out and showed that.
Is it fun being able to coach James Romain?
James is a character to go with the rest of them, but he works harder than probably any of the DBs we have. They all work hard, but he's a guy that does not like to get beat even in practice. It could be the simplest of playing catch. He wants to catch everything, so that's a good mentality to have.
All right, we got to talk a little bit about special teams. With the onside kick on Saturday night, what did you see was going on with what was happening with special teams?
First we had some guys filling in spots that wouldn't normally be in because of a couple of injuries. But, you have to go out and execute those type of plays that you're supposed to have. And unfortunately for us, that's the one special teams that you really can't simulate game speed because you don't want to hurt your own guys with onside kicks and hand steams. So we have to go out, try to be precise in our blocking, know who we're supposed to pick up. And we just did not execute the way we're supposed to on those plays a couple of times. But, we'll get better at it. Having that game experience with game speed will really help us mentally.
All right, you've got Tampa coming up. You've won 4 or 5. What are you looking for against Tampa?
We're looking to come out and do the same things. We want to execute, make the right plays offensively, defensively, hopefully get another return for a touchdown, special teams-wise, not give up touchdowns on kickoffs. If we can do those things, we can come out victorious.
All right, we'd like to thank Rod Miller, the Soul defensive back and special teams coach, for being our guest on Soul Insider. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks for having me.
The Soul are home this Saturday, May 17th at 6 p.m. Soul versus Tampa Bay Storm. It's Faith and Family Night presented by Hostmark with a post-game concert featuring faith-based performers Capital Kings, Leandria Johnson, and Latisse Crawford. The first 3,000 fans will receive a Soul wristband. And as always, one fan will win a big screen HD TV courtesy of Judge Unified Communications. For tickets, call 888-789-SOUL or go to PhiladelphiaSoul.com. After the break, we'll talk to Brian Robinson about Saturday's game when we return to the Soul Insider, presented by Foods Galore.
The Soul Insider, presented by Foods Galore, is sponsored by Pro Systems. Pro Systems Audio, one of Philadelphia's finest audio, video, and lighting contracting firms. By Walgreens, at the corner of happy and healthy. And by the Judge Group and Judge Unified Communications, designing, developing, deploying, and managing advanced technologies for clients across the globe.
Scott, he do a great job for us, whether it be, the steak meat, the lobster, everything is our own brand. It's a testimonial to Foods Galore.
Service is what's made our company. Loyalty, reliability, honesty. Your growth was one of the main reasons why I evolved in the business.
People look at Chicky and Pete's as a success story, but it's actually your success story. It works just like a marriage, because I still have my wife and I still have you.
Which car company is #1 in customer loyalty? Hyundai. And which car has more horsepower and more front legroom? The Elantra. The others are simply playing catch-up. The satisfaction of the Elantra. The power of America's best warranty. Right now, lease a new 2014 Elantra for just $149 a month. But don't delay. Get to your local Hyundai dealer today, because this event ends June 2nd.
Oh, good idea. No.
Ready for a little fun? You could scratch your way to instant winning. Play the Pennsylvania Lottery's new instant game, Money Money Millionaire. With 5 top prizes of $1 million, it's kind of fun to cook something up. Keep on scratching.
And now, the stop pain stop of the game.
Ely back deep for the VooDoo. Having trouble with that one, and it's recovered for a Philadelphia touchdown. Lacey, and a brutal start to the second half for the VooDoo.
That was the stop of the game. Lacey's fumble recovery, return for a touchdown, an opening kickoff of the second half, kind of set the defense up to take over in the second half of the Soul's win on Saturday. Now, coming off Mother's Day, I thought I'd share a little mom story. Now, I hated math growing up. I didn't have the aptitude I always thought, and my mom would get annoyed with the C's and D's on the report card. And one day when I was around 11 or 12, we're watching a football game, and I said, I don't understand why they're not feeding this kid the ball more. He's averaging like 4.9 yards per carry. So my mom looks at me and she goes, well, how'd you figure that out? And I said, well, you know, you divide the number of yards by the number of attempts. And she said, oh, it's not that you hate math. You're just bored by the subject matter. Which brings me to Jonathan Papelbon. Yeah, I made a bit of a hard left turn there, but stick with me. The Phillies' $50 million closer, who threw a total of 21 pitches Friday and Saturday, but was unavailable to go Sunday. Cole Hamels threw 133 pitches and was in line to get his 100th career win. Bottom of the ninth, no Papelbon. Antonio Bastardo couldn't get the job done, so Ryan Sandberg went to Roberto Hernandez, who threw 99 pitches as a starter. On Friday night, maybe Rhino thought he was sending out Fausto Carmona, and he was fresher. Predictably, the Phillies would lose in extra innings. After the game, Ryan said Paps needed a day off. Pardon me? It was 21 pitches in 2 days, and he's tired? Pressed, Rhino said Papelbon was a little sore. So my starter guts out 133 pitches. My Friday starter comes in 2 days after throwing 99 pitches, but the $50 million closer is too sore after throwing a total of 21 pitches over 2 days. This is the second time this season Paps being unavailable has cost the Phillies a win because he was sore. I'm assuming that's kind of like when my 4-year-old says he's got the ouchies. I thought about trying to do the math, 50 years over 4 years, making about $13 million this year, break that down to game appearances, and then to what Papelbon got paid to throw 21 pitches in 2 days. And I realized my mom was wrong. I really do hate math. I like doing the math on this player. Sole defensive lineman Brian Robinson is our guest. First team All-Arena last year, second team the year before. Brian, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Now, you guys had a big win last week over New Orleans, and you know the defense in the second half really got things rolling. Now, the D-backs are kind of going to get all the credit for all of the turnovers, the interceptions, but it's really the defensive line that sets them up for it, right?
Yeah, we go hand in hand. You know, with that, it's if we're doing well, then they're going to succeed. If they're doing well, then we're going to succeed. It's kind of hand-in-hand thing. So we know that they got all the credit this week, but we know where it belongs.
And you're a local kid. You're out of Delaware, Dover, Delaware. You went to Wesley, and now you're playing home for the Philadelphia Soul. What's it like being able to play professional football, you know, basically in front of your family?
It's hectic, first thing.
A lot of tickets?
A lot of tickets. But it's fun, man, to play in front of my family, my friends, everybody I grew up with, and especially my kids. It's a tremendous thing every week to go out there and perform for them still at the age of 28, so I couldn't be happier. And
you just mentioned you are 28, but you got a lot of young guys on your defensive line, guys who are kind of learning and really doing well. And, you know, somebody mentioned to me that you've had a big influence on that. How is it that you're helping them along?
Just trying to give them the little ins and outs that I've picked up along the way. I've been in this league for 5 years, so my experience is pretty good in the game, and I've learned a lot of things along the way from a lot of other people. So I just try to implement that in their game and their style of play.
And your defensive line coach, I know, is Phil Bogle, who also played in the league, and I actually covered him when he played. What is he as a coach for you guys? What is he like?
He's a tremendous mentor, friend, terrific coach. I've done nothing but get better since he's been here, and he knows the ins and outs of the game because he's been in it, and he's got hands-on experience. So each week he's always helping us with the guys that we're going against. His offensive line is superior, and above all to me in my opinion. So his coaching and his tutelage has just been hands down the best.
You just mentioned his offensive line is superior. So does that help you guys a lot in practice, being able to go against that offensive line to prep you for your opponents?
Always. When you're going against the top linemen in the league, you can't do nothing but get better every day. And that's what we do on both sides of the ball, is just continue to get better, push each other, and make sure that each week our hardest days are during the week, and so when we play in a game, it just looks natural to us.
I guess it doesn't hurt either having Dan Radabal to be able to go up against him in practice. Makes it easier to go against the other opponent's quarterbacks?
I think Dan is still the quickest gunslinger in the league. He gets rid of that ball, and it helps us adjust to other quarterbacks and kind of put the pressure on where we can see and do different things. So it definitely helps us out a lot.
All right. Brian Robinson, defensive lineman for the Philadelphia Soul. Brian, thanks for being our guest today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Now, the Soul return to the Wells Fargo Center this Saturday, May 17th at 6 p.m. to take on the Tampa Bay Storm for Faith and Family Night. Bring your group of 10 or more out to a Soul game. Find out how your group can play on the Soul field, perform at the game in front of thousands of Soul fans or high-five the players as they head to the field to play the game. Go to PhiladelphiaSoul.com for more details. After the break, we'll talk to defensive back James Romain, and we'll hear what's on the mind of Vinny the Crumb when we return to the Soul Insider, presented by Foods Galore.
How can the Judge Group help your business? By providing you with effective business technology solutions. By recruiting the finest personnel to meet your unique business needs. By providing corporate training, learning, and performance support solutions. And unified communications, voice and video system design and engineering. With over 30 offices in the U.S., Canada, and Asia, the Judge Group, a global leader in professional services since 1970.
No one else can do what Colonial Marble and Granite can do. We've revolutionized the way you buy your granite countertops. Colonial Marble and Granite, the nation's leading granite countertop fabricator. Visit our King of Prussia showroom today and see how easy, beautiful, and affordable your countertops can be. Professional, courteous service, unbeatable prices, just $19.99 installed. No one else can beat Colonial Marble and Granite. Visit us online at colonialmarble.net.
Which car company has the best warranty in America? Hyundai. And which crossover was named Cars.com's 2014 Family Car of the Year? The Santa Fe Sport. It's the one solid choice. The strength of the Santa Fe Sport. The power of America's best warranty. Now lease a new 2014 Santa Fe Sport for just $209 a month. But you'd better hurry to your local Hyundai dealer today because these great deals end June 2nd.
Hi, I'm Tony Mitchell, Brinker Simpson & Company, Certified Public Accountants. We offer comprehensive financial compliance and tax services. As Philadelphia's leading tax and advisory firm, we let our clients say it best.
Tony and his team at Brinker Simpson provided the expertise of a large accounting firm, but didn't forget their small business roots.
Brinker Simpson has a clear business vision that looks beyond spreadsheets and numbers and sees opportunities.
At Brinker Simpson, firm relationships build success.
It's the Hyundai Drive Your Way drive of the game.
Second and goal, McDaniel, touchdown. His 13th touchdown of this season. And Philadelphia takes the ball right down the field on their opening drive, and they put 6 on the board.
That play set up what was going to be the tone for the night for the Philadelphia Soul in their win over New Orleans. But our next guest was really the catalyst in the second half. I want to welcome in Soul defensive back James Romain. James, welcome to the show.
How you doing?
Wonderful. Now, you had 2 interceptions, 1 a pick 6. You should have had 2 pick 6s, though, right?
Yes.
What happened on the second one?
Well, the second one, they was running that formation the whole game, wide back, and the receiver, the Z, he was running hitches the whole game. So on that play, I just baited the quarterback a little bit. I saw him look at the number 11, gave him a little head nod. He saw how far back I was, and I just jumped the route and walked in the end zone.
Now, I'm curious, when that happens and it gets called back for a hold, does the guy who actually, held, does he come up and apologize, or does he avoid you the rest of the night?
Oh, yeah. The first pick 6, Ashley Williams, he's a rookie, but he came up to me, apologized, and I told him no problem, no biggie about it. The offense got the ball back, and they scored. I made a big play and put our team in good position to make some scores.
All right, now, when you did score, you had a great dance that you did. Now, I'm just curious, are you and Tiger going to have a dance-off, someday? That's
going to be hard. That's going to be hard. Tiger Jones, he's in the end zone at least 4 or 5 times, so he got about 6, 7 dances in his head, So I just come out probably about 1 or 2, try to get in the end zone. So if we want to have a dance-off, Tig, I'm after you, man.
Oh, see, I love a challenge thrown down on the show. You had mentioned something after the game that in practice, leading up to the game against New Orleans, you guys had got your hands on a lot of passes in practice. Do you find that sometimes that does translate into the game?
Yes. It's an old saying, you practice how you play. So when you go into practice and you have a good week, getting your hands on passes and catching the passes, and it translates to the game, and you go out and make big plays, and that's what happened on Saturday.
Does Dan like it when you pick him off in practice?
No, he don't. He don't. So he comes and congratulates me, but I know it's eating him in the inside. So every day I try to get him, but sometimes he makes some big catches on me.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, now, who is the fastest guy on the Philadelphia Soul?
Me.
I love that. No one else is even playing for second place?
No, I don't think nobody's within 5 yards of me.
And Clint Dolezal mentioned after the game against New Orleans that it was the Soul's most complete game. Do you agree with it? I mean, what was it about it that made it a complete game in his mind and maybe in yours?
I mean, touchdowns, big plays. The defense was making plays, you know, sacks, everything. The crowd was into it. So I felt this game right here, we really came together and we really went out and played lights out.
All right, James. Well, good luck next week against Tampa, and I want to thank you for being our guest on the Soul Insider.
Thanks.
Well, we're going from James Romain to a guy who likes a lot of Caesar salads, Vinny the Crumb.
Thanks, Rhea. Yo, it's Vinny the Crumb, and here's what I think. Well, the VooDoo were in town this week for their spring checkup. Diagnosis? It's terminal. They got pounded 79-60. Normally at this point, I would sit here and tell you how much they stink and that they lost because they wear purple uniforms and basically live in a swamp. But I'm turning over a new leaf. Yeah, I want to be a kinder, gentler Crumb and tell the VooDoo that it was nice of them to stop by. And if they're going to continue to play slightly below curb level, they're welcome here anytime. The Soul racked up a season-high 79 points, coincidentally, and that's more than the entire VooDoo team had on their SATs combined. So that's good. The major ups goes to defensive machine Rashawn Kaiser. RK had a rough first half, but came back stronger than my breath after Amara's white with extra garlic with a pick six and another interception in the second half to keep the VooDoo knee-deep in the bayou. Next up, it's the Tampa Bay Storm, more like the Back Bay Drizzle. These cats have lost their last 4 and are down there with the Crabs at 3-5 on the season. It's hard to rip a town with great beaches, hot girls, and great food, but you better have all that when your only other claim to fame is being the hometown of Hulk Hogan. So what are you gonna do, brother, when the Soul puts the lights out on you? I'm Vinny the Crumb, baby, and that's what I think.
I'm not sure that's exactly a kinder, gentler Crumb. Thank you, Vinny. The Soul return to the Wells Fargo Center this Saturday, May 17th at 6 p.m. to take on the Tampa Bay Storm for Faith and Family Night. Get your family 4-pack now. 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 sodas, 4 popcorns for as low as $68. Call 888-789-SOUL or go to PhiladelphiaSoul.com. After the break, we'll hear from Angela Perfetto in a new segment we call Girl Chalk, plus some words from you, the fans, when we return to the Soul Insider, presented by Foods Galore.
Bradford White Water Heaters, American made, American owned, built to be the best. Why would you buy any other brand? Visit BradfordWhite.com to find a contractor near you.
Scott, he's doing a great job for us, whether it be, you know, the steak meat, the lobster, everything is our own brand. It's a testimonial to Foods Galore.
Service is what's made our company. Loyalty, reliability, honesty. Your growth was one of the main reasons why I evolved in the business.
People look at Chicken and Pizza as a success story, but it's actually your success story. It works just like a marriage, because I still have my wife and I still have you.
Soul fans, here's your chance to win the ultimate tailgate prize package. The Soul and your neighborhood Walgreens has your chance to win. Every month, you can win a 50-inch flat-screen TV, Soul tailgate grill, table, chairs, and coolers. Plus, you and 10 of your friends get to go to a Soul game VIP style in an all-you-can-eat club box. Get to Walgreens now and visit the Soul Zone. A new winner is selected every month. Brought to you in part by Canada Dry, Smart Water, Good Health Natural, Utz, Red Bull, Stop Pain, Coca-Cola, and Peanut Chews. No purchase necessary. Please see website for complete rules and regulations.
Here's the Colonial Marble rock-solid player of the game.
1st and 10 from the 20. Rocco looking for everything, throws into double coverage, and is picked off. Intercepted. Intercepted, and that's 6. James Romain, his 2nd pick of the night, and it's a pick 6 for Philadelphia.
We're going to introduce a new segment we call Girl Chalk, little female perspective on the game. So we're going to bring in Angela Perfetto, former linebacker for the Philadelphia Passion, and she's going to talk a little makeup, if you will.
What would football be without a little eye makeup? I'm not talking about looking hot. I'm talking about intimidation. Let's get nasty. But first, how about some history? The original eye black was made from burned cork ashes, and one of the earliest known eye black fashionistas was baseball legend Babe Ruth, who around 1930 used the grease in an attempt to reduce sun glare. But the king of all eye black users is Tim Tebow. He's the only man to get more than 100 million Google hits for his eye black proclamations. According to a 2003 study, the ability of the periorbitally applied anti-glare products to improve contrast sensitivity in conditions of sunlight exposure proved absolutely nothing. So let's be honest, glare schmare. The real reason why we love to wear eye black is that it looks totally cool, a sexy modern day war paint. So grease up and get out there. It's time to get dirty.
All right, thanks, Angela. As we know, look, we've just learned from Angela, men like to wear makeup too. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
As always at this part in the show, we'd like to get the viewer feedback. Now, Chris has a question. After all of the different personnel changes due to injury and trades, how are the guys starting to gel? And what more can they do to have a better fit and flow with each other? Well, Chris, we like the progress of the team. After starting 0-3, they've now won 4 of their last 5 games. They have guys like Vicky Lacey, who's really stepped up on offense the past few weeks. Ted Jennings on defense, who has 4.5 sacks on the year. Their best football is definitely still ahead of them as they continue that gelling process. All right, now Michael's question has to do with what can the defense do to tighten up and get back to stopping opponents as they've done in years past? Well, it's a combination of things, and I do feel they've made tremendous progress the past few weeks. But in the AFL, it all starts with getting pressure on the quarterback. Pressure on the quarterback creates negative plays, incomplete passes, and turnovers. And this has really been the focus of practice, and the defense will continue to make progress as the year continues. Check out the Soul game. It is Saturday night, 6 p.m. at the Wells Fargo Center. Soul taking on the Tampa Bay Storm. They come in 3-5, but they did beat the Soul earlier this year. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us again this week on Soul Insider, presented by Foods Galore.
The Soul Insider, presented by Foods Galore, is sponsored by Pro Systems. Pro Systems Audio, one of Philadelphia's finest audio, video, and lighting contracting firms. By Walgreens. Walgreens, at the corner of happy and healthy. And by the Judge Group and Judge Unified Communications, designing, developing, deploying, and managing advanced technologies for clients across the globe.